Welcome to the TMRN Time Monk Radio Network. I'm Jules, and today is Saturday, the 25th of June 2011. Today we have renowned author and researcher Dr. Richard Sauder. Richard's work on the underground bases have been seminal in this field, which includes the book Underwater and Underground Bases. Richard's most recent work is the Richard Sauder Briefings. His book and articles are available on his website, www.eventhorizonChronicle.blogspot.com. Richard, hola, and welcome to the WebBot Forum Roundtable.
Hey, thank you so much.
The WebBot Forum administrator is Fox, and today he'll be doing the recording and technical support of the show. Several members of the forum were kind enough to join us tonight. They include moderator Jay Durand and members Patrick, Uranus Rising, and Vito. For listeners, this interview will assume you have a fairly good understanding of Dr. Sauder's work, including his research into the underground bases and tunnels. Richard runs the gambit in his knowledge of the world and spirituality. You can listen to many radio interviews with Richard on The Veritas Show and generally on YouTube. Again, his website is www.eventhorizonChronicle.blogspot.com. This interview will be available on YouTube for free on WebBot Forum channel and at the website webbotforum.com. Dr. Sauder, are you ready for the interview, sir?
I am.
The first area of discussion today is the machine, the archons, the elite, and the powers that be. And our first question is from Uranus.
Hello, Richard. It's very nice to speak with you. Hola. A few months back, we interviewed Gnostic John Lamb Lash, also an ayahuasca user, who speaks of the archons, who inhabit the solar system and are psychic intruders. He speaks of them as inorganic beings, just as Carlos Castaneda did. And these beings are trying to break down our humanity so we become machine-like and heartless like they are. This sounds to me very much like what you term the machine. Joseph Farrell, whom we have also interviewed, referred to them as the elite. Cliff refers to them as the powers that be or were. Could you describe what you mean by your term the machine and what their agenda is?
Yes, that's a very good question. From my perspective, more than anything, the machine is mentality, an organized train of thought, but it's artificial. So you could say that in real sense it is an artificial intelligence. That's what it seems like when I perceived it, as a vast artificial intelligence that operates at least on a planetary scale in two realms, in both the 3D physical realm and also in the near astral world or realm. It actually siphons off people's life force in the astral realm. I could see what looked like a milking parlor at a dairy barn where the cows come in at milking time. If you've ever seen this, they come in and they're fastened into stanchions, and they have suction devices attached to their teats to suck the milk from their udders. Only in this case, I saw people sitting down in long rows in sheds, and they had tubes attached to the top of their heads where their subtle life energy is drawn off from the top of their head, from the crown chakra. It had a real kind of opium den feel to it. If you think about any large machine, like a railroad locomotive, or for example, the Saturn V moon rockets that took the Apollo manned space missions, sent them up to the moon, the machine exists first as an organized, systematic thought process in the mind or the minds of its designer or designers. So first of all, when you have a sophisticated machine, before anything, there is an organized, systematic thought or thought process, design process, and then the machine is the exteriorization or externalization of the thought behind the machine. In this case, I don't know where the artificial intelligence originated, but I can say it's vast, it's relentless, it is cunning, it is resourceful, it is sly, it is duplicitous and mendacious. It's pitiless and cruel. And I could see it is agents everywhere who are part of its apparatus. We even have an ordinary discourse. We talk about political machines, for example, or the military-industrial complex. And this machine, as I saw, incorporates all of this. It has motivated humans to build complex networks and sub-assemblies to do its will and carry out its agenda. It incorporates, therefore, military machines like the Pentagon and all of its subsidiary and sub-elements, component parts, large and small, and also incorporates things like the global military industrial complex, multinational companies such as Monsanto, British Petroleum, General Electric. So this machine is vast. In a sense, it's a artificially intelligent construct that incorporates anyone and anything else that it can into its octopus-like reach, the better to subjugate this planet, including the human race, all other biological life forms, and the planet itself, under its control. And you can see the outworking of this in the easily, and in my view, in the central bank, what Catherine Austin Fitts, for example, has described as the central bank warfare-based, debt-based model of economics that we now see on every hand driving humanity and the planet to ruin. All of this is a ruthless appendage of the machine. Now, it's important to understand that the machine itself is just a machine, but whoever or whatever set it in motion means to do the human race and this planet serious harm. I have to say that in the last 20 years or so, there have been a number of shows and Hollywood productions that have come out that have caught important aspects of this machine and its agenda and what it is doing to the human race and to the planet. Of course, the Matrix films, especially the first Matrix film, captured a lot of this. Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger got a piece of it. The Battlestar Galactica series that the Sci-Fi television network put together, ran for 2 or 3 years. That also caught important aspects of this machine and what it's doing and how it behaves and how it has integrated in itself onto this planet, into the human race seamlessly, and is using us to carry out its will against our own interests in deadly and self-destructive, myriad self-destructive, violently self-destructive ways. There's some other ones. There have been some other ones, but those are some that I can remember just off the top of my head. Now, this machine is what it is. It's enslaving us and killing us and setting in motion this large historical forces, including social dynamics and, importantly, dysfunctional emotional patterns that have woven themselves, insinuated themselves very deeply into the warp and woof of our racial collective unconscious, I guess you could say. And this has set the stage for all of this tremendously self-destructive behavior we see on every hand. Our crime, our exploitative economic system, the endless warfare, the ways in which we enslave and abuse one another on an individual and family level, national level, internationally. We now see the stage set for all-out nuclear warfare that may even break out later this year. And if it does, it will be waged automatically, again, by vastly powerful machines that are artificially intelligent and psychopathically so. These machines that work for the large military agencies and institutions on this world, be they, the United States, NATO, People's Liberation Army in China, or the Russian military, and there are other militaries as well. And they all have these vast, digitally automated killing machines, these war-making networks that would go automated, and they would wage the war in real time in ways that humans can't, and we would bear the brunt of that. We're skating on the thin edge of that now. So this machine and all of its baby machines that it has created, you think of the Alien movies with Sigourney Weaver that she had, where you had this alien creature that had all the little babies that it hatched, and then the eggs would get inside of people and come out very gruesomely through their chest. We're almost faced with something like that because this machine has insinuated itself so seamlessly into our world, into our minds, into our emotions and spirits, and into our societies. So this machine and all of its baby machines at the NSA, the Pentagon, the CIA, the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank, all of the big companies on Wall Street, the World Bank, etc., all of these, the big machine and the baby machines are completely devoid of a soul, heartless in every sense of the word, without sympathy, empathy, or compassion, and that's important to understand. I once worked with a guy who was writing algorithms. He had a master's degree in mathematics, I think with a specialty in statistics, and he was writing algorithms for one of these stock brokerages that trades on the international markets. And there are vast supercomputers that have incredibly complex profit-making algorithms. And when you read about the stock market being up and being down, understand that easily 80% of this, maybe more, is driven by vast artificial intelligences, machine-based intelligences that are programmed to trade by the millions and billions, and for all I know, by the trillions of dollars in virtually real time in a way that humans never possibly could. But humans have set up all of these machines to run the economy, the military affairs, and so many other things for them. And all of this is part of the working out of this machine's agenda on this planet to bring us down. And you know what? We have been brought down. We are in big trouble. This machine is a brutal taskmaster, and it will not stop. So I believe our only hope is to wise up, to raise our game. And I say wise up, I mean W-I-S-I. Raise our game, realize our inherent wisdom, and start behaving as adult human beings, or else we and the planet that we inhabit are likely to be toast. Now, I don't know, I would say again, who or what formulated this machine and set it loose, but I only know it's going to do what it will do, and it's been at it for some time. So the question then becomes for us, since we know what the machine will do, we can see what it's doing. The question is, what will we do? And I can say this much, that inaction is not an option unless we want to be slaves or dead. We're both slaves and dead, and all of that on our radioactive desert planet, floating like a barren, toxic cinder in orbit around the sun, because that's the direction we're headed. And this machine does not mean well, and it does not play.
Well, thank you for that thoughtful answer. I appreciate it.
Good evening, Dr. Sauder. This is Patrick.
Hi, Patrick.
In a recent article